Hello dear student, welcome back in the second part of these sulfonamides or sulfur drug prepared by myself Arif Khan. In this part we'll see the remaining compounds from the sulfur drugs. So first amongst these is the succinylsulphathiazole. So it differs from the thylylsulphathiazole in having N4 succinyl group. So this is a succinyl group which will be present on the N4 instead of thionyl group. If there is a thionyl group on N4, it's called as thylylsulphathiazole. And if it has a succinyl group on the N4 of the general structure of sulfonamide, so it will be succinylsulphathiazole. Next, as far as the uses are concerned, it's same as like that of the thylylsulphathiazole. Pharmaceutical formulation, succinylsulphathiazole tablet, and brand names includes these SS-thiazole. SS-thiazole stand for succinylsulphathiazole. Chromomycin, Chromostape, and sulfamycin. These all are the brands for succinylsulphathiazole. Now next drug that we're talking about, the sulphadimethoxine. So it indicates that in this the hydrogen of the sulfomoyl group is replaced with 2,6-dimethoxypyrimidine 4-yle heterocycle. It means that if you're talking about this structure with SO2 NH2 with this para-aminobenzene sulfonamide or sulfomoyl, so of these hydrogen got replaced, one of hydrogen got replaced with these pyrimidine 2,6-dimethoxy. 2,6-dimethoxy on a pyrimidine, and which is attached with the fourth position to this sulfomoyl group. So if you are giving numbering to this heterocyclic ring pyrimidine, so it will be 1, 2, 3 and 4 position. So this is the 4th position with which it is attached. That's why 4-yle, pyridine 4-yle, pyridine attached with the 4th position to this sulfomoyl nitrogen, and one of hydrogen got replaced with this complete group is called as sulphadimethoxine. Next, as far as the chemical property is concerned, due to the presence of free aromatic amino group, it will give the diazotization reaction described under the sulfadiazine. So it has a primary amino group, means it undergoes the diazotization reaction. Next, sulphadimethoxine will react with 0.1 normal NaOH and 1% copper sulfate. It will give the yellow color or yellowish green precipitate is forming as a identification test. Uses: this sulphadimethoxine is used in the treatment of UTI, that is urinary tract infection. Pharmaceutical formulation includes sulphadimethoxine tablet. Brand names such as Bensulpha, Sulphadrine and COTRIM, these are the brand for sulphadimethoxine. Next drug, that is SULPHAMETHOXYPYRIDAZINE. If you see the structure, so it's a N1 substituted sulfonamide which has the pyridazine ring or on the N1 pyridazine ring, and which has a methoxy group. That's why SULPHAMETHOXYPYRIDAZINE. Methoxypyridazine is a substituent on these N1. That's why the name is sulphamethoxypyridazine. Next, in this the substituent present, that is sulfomoyl nitrogen 6-methoxypyridazine 3-yle. Chemical properties includes first as like same as like that of the sulphadimethoxine, and second one, when this drug is reacting with this 0.1 normal NaOH and 1% copper sulfate, it gives a greenish brown precipitate. So basically this identification test will be same, chemicals or the reagents will be same, but it will give a different color with the different sulfonamides, and this will be the differentiating test depending on the color. Like in this case, it will give the greenish color, greenish brown precipitate, which will indicate the presence of sulphamethoxypyridazine. Uses as under the sulphadimethoxine, same. Next, that is used in the treatment of UTI. Next, formulation such as tablet, and the brand name includes Diresal and Confine. Next, that is COTRIMOXAZOLE. It's the most important compound actually, COTRIMOXAZOLE. It is a mixture of 5 parts of sulphamethoxazole and 1 part of trimethoprim. So we'll see 5:1 ratio, these two drugs are combined, and it's a combination of these two drugs, that is 5 part of sulphamethoxazole and 1 part of trimethoprim. So we'll see first what is sulphamethoxazole. So it is an sulfonamide derivative in which the one of hydrogen of sulfomoyl group is replaced by 5-methyl isoxazole heterocycle. So this will be the structure of these sulphamethoxazole, in which this is the actually isoxazole ring on which the methyl group on the 5 position, and attached with the third position. That's why 5-methyl isoxazole 3-yle because it is attached with the third position on the sulphamoyl nitrogen. That's why we can say that it is again the N1 substituted sulphonamide, and the substitution is 5-methyl isoxazole 3-yle heterocycle. So that's why it's called as sulphamethoxazole. And the presence of heterocyclic ring improves this heterocyclic ring improves this antibacterial activity. It has a pKa 5.6 at 25 degrees Celsius. It is a white crystalline powder, odorless, and has a bitter aftertaste. This will be the physical properties of these sulphamethoxazole. And next, it is very slightly soluble in water. So this is all about the sulphamethoxazole. The first component of this cotrimoxazole, sulphamethoxazole. This will be all about this sulphamethoxazole. Next part, that is trimethoprim. So trimethoprim is a pyrimidine derivative in which the amino groups are present on 2,4 position, and 3,4,5 trimethoxybenzyl group at C5 position. So pyrimidine is a basic nucleus present in this given structure trimethoprim. Prim stand for pyrimidine, and on these there will be 2 amino group at 2,4 position and 3,4,5 trimethoxy on benzyl group. So this will be the structural feature of the trimethoprim. Next, the presence of methoxy group. These all 3 methoxy group on the phenyl nucleus reduces the lipophilicity, and thus the optimum activity was obtained. So this is the structural activity relationship of this trimethoprim, and it is not only antimalarial but also has an antibacterial activity also. So as far as the mechanism of action is concerned, these two drugs, sulphamethoxazole and the trimethoprim, can be given in combination, that is 5:1 part, and is called as, popular combination is called as cotrimoxazole. So why there is need to prepare a combination or the mixture of both these drugs? Because when sulphamethoxazole is given alone, it will produce the resistance, or it will develop the resistance. So when it is given in combination of these two, that is sulphamethoxazole and trimethoprim, these two drugs gives the synergistic effect arising from the sequential inhibition of the both dihydrofolate synthetase and dihydrofolate reductase. So actually this will inhibit these enzymes. 2 enzymes will be inhibited by the combination, and hence will prevent the DNA replication. Like it will be inhibit the formation of tetrahydrofolic acid, and hence these tetrahydrofolic acid will not able to form, and it will inhibit the DNA replication. So if we see the mechanism, so these are the precursor or the steps or the say biosynthesis of the tetrahydrofolic acid. In these first step, these all 3 components, that is serine, paramino, benzoic acid and glutamic acid, will combine to form these dihydropteric acid, that is by the enzyme dihydrofolate synthetase. And when this dihydroteric acid undergoes reduction or combined with the glutamate, it will form the dihydrofolic acid, and dihydrofolic acid undergo the reduction to form tetrahydrofolic acid with the help of enzyme dihydrofolate reductase. And these tetrahydrofolic acid will able to form, or will helps to form or replicate the DNA, and DNA get replicate, and hence the cell, particularly the bacterial cell, will get multiply. So there is a say inhibition of these use of these inhibition of these both the enzyme dihydrofolate synthetase and dihydrofolate reductase. These enzymes will be inhibited by both these. Sequential inhibition of both these enzymes leads to inhibit the formation of tetrahydrofolic acid, ultimately leads to inhibit the formation of the DNA or replication of the DNA. Hence the cell get die, or multiplication or inhibiting the growth of the bacterial cell can be performed by this combination. That's why these 2 drugs are given in combination. Now these combinations are used in the treatment of the genitourinary tract infection, then RTI, that is respiratory tract infection like bronchitis, pneumonia, then meningitis due to meningococcal infection, and enteric fever like typhoid, paratyphoid. All these types of infection can be treated by this combination. The pharmaceutical formulation includes, we'll see the individual formulation like sulphamethoxazole, which has the sulphamethoxazole tablet, sulphamethoxazole oral suspension. For cotrimoxazole, that is in combination, it will have the tablet, injection and a mixture, etc. Next, trimethoprim and sulphadiazine. So it will have a tablet, injection and a mixture as a formulation. Trimethoprim and sulphadoxine, so it will have a tablet and injection as a formulations. As far as the brands are includes, the popular combination cotrimoxazole has a brand Bactrim, Ceftran, Cipline and Uretrim. These are the brand like Bactrim. This is the Bactrim. Next Septran, and next that is Cipline. These all are the brands for the popular combination cotrimoxazole. Next sulfacetamide. So this is the N1 substituted sulfonamide which has acetyl group COCH3 group on N1. That is N1 acetyl derivative of para-aminobenzene sulfonamide. Its official salt will be sodium, and chemical properties is concerned, it undergoes diazotization reaction because it has a primary amino group. Next, like identification test, when it is react with 0.1 mol NaOH and 1% copper sulfate, it will give the blue color precipitate. Next, as far as the uses are concerned, it is used as antibacterial agent locally to treat the eye infections, systemically to treat the urinary tract infection. Pharmaceutical formulation includes the sulfacetamide eye drops, sulfacetamide eye ointment. So it means that it will be preferably used for the ophthalmic use, ophthalmic infection or treatment of the eye infection. This drug is called as sulfacetamide. So as far as the brand names are concerned, it has these brands such as Locula, Nebasulf. These are the popular brand names for these sulfacetamide, which has a sulfacetamide, sulfonamide popularly used. This will be eye drop, eye preparation, Locula. So definitely it will be for ophthalmic infection. Next, this is Nebasulf, which will dusting powder, which may be used for topically for the treatment of the wounds, healing of the wounds in order to prevent the infection. So it means what? This will be these sulfacetamide will be used for its local infection, or locally can be used for the treatment of these types of infection. So this is all about the sulfonamides. So thank you so much. That was the last compound, sulfacetamide, amongst the sulfonamides. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.